Hey there, and welcome. You know that feeling, right? You get a list of vocabulary words, you stare at it, and your brain just goes blank. You try to memorize them, but nothing seems to stick. Well, what if there's a better way? Today, we're going to flip the script on how you look at those lists. Because what if that list isn't random at all? What if it's actually a bunch of tiny, hidden stories just waiting for you to find them? Let me show you exactly what I mean. Our first story, well, it begins in a pretty dramatic place. So, our first stop is the world of law and order. Picture it. You're in a tense courtroom, and it's all about crime, the courts, and of course, the money. Now, every good courtroom drama needs a crime, right? And let's be honest, very few criminals act alone. That brings us to our first word, an accomplice. This is the partner in crime, the person who helps make it all happen. They're in it together. Okay, let's jump ahead to the end of the trial. All the evidence is in, the lawyers have had their say, and the verdict is here. If the judge or jury says, not guilty, that person is acquitted. It's that huge movie moment sigh of relief. And this is where it really clicks. When you put them side by side, you see the whole story. An accomplice is a partner in guilt before anything happens, while to acquit is to be declared not guilty at the very end. They're like bookends to the same legal drama. So how did the jury even get to that verdict? Well, a lot of the time, you gotta follow the money. And that's where the accountant comes in. Think of them as a financial detective, digging through the books. And sometimes they're the key witness who breaks the whole case wide open. All right, let's leave the tense courtroom behind us. Time for a complete scene change. The lights are going down, the curtain is coming up, and we're in a beautiful theater waiting for the show to start. And who's in the spotlight? The acrobat. This is our star, the performer who just blows your mind with these incredible flips, tricks, and feats of pure strength and balance. They are the heart of the show. So what's the acrobat actually doing up there? They're putting on an act. Now, the word act can mean performing a role, sure, but it also just means to do something. For our acrobat, their amazing performance and their physical actions are the exact same thing. It's their act. But hey, a great performance is kind of pointless if you can't hear it, right? That is where acoustics come in. It's the science of sound. The acoustics of the room decide if you can hear every gasp from the crowd and every perfectly stuck landing. It's the invisible magic that makes the show work. Okay, from the big stage, let's zoom in a little closer to the world of words and ideas. This next story is all about how we communicate, how we find agreement, how we argue, and how we get a little lazy with our language. First up, accord. When people are in accord, they just get each other. Their ideas are in harmony, they're on the same page. It's that great feeling of agreement and understanding. You can think of it like teamwork, but with words. And then you have the total opposite, acerbic. This word describes a way of speaking that's sharp, sour, and kind of harsh. It's language that's meant to cut, not to connect. You know that witty comment that really stings? That's acerbic. And look at the difference here. It's so clear. Accord is all about harmony, like saying, I totally agree with you. Acerbic is about harshness, like a blunt, that's a terrible idea. One builds bridges, the other, well, it kind of burns them. Finally, in this world of words, let's talk about shortcuts. That's what an acronym is. It's super simple. You take a really long phrase, like National Aeronautics and Space Administration, you just grab the first letter of each main word and boom, you get a cool new word, NASA. It's just a more efficient way to talk. Okay, for our last word, we're going to do something a little different. We're putting this one all by itself because it's about a very powerful, very specific, and all-consuming fear. Acrophobia. Acrophobia is the extreme, sometimes paralyzing fear of heights. Now hold on. Think back to our acrobat in the theater. An acrobat with acrophobia? Yeah, that would be a very, very short career. It's the one thing our performer absolutely cannot have. See how it all connects? So let's just take a step back and see what we did here. We didn't just cram 10 random words into our brains. We actually uncovered the stories hiding inside the list. Look at this. We took what looked like a random jumble and found these awesome little mini-stories. We had the Law and Order tale with the accomplice, the acquittal, and the accountant. We went to the theater for the acrobat, their act, and the acoustics. We played with words and ideas using accord, acerbic, and acronym. And we faced that one singular fear, acrophobia. Once you find the story, the words just make sense. By grouping words together like this, You're not just memorizing, you're understanding. You're giving your brain hooks to hang the information on. So you've seen how any list can tell a story. Now the only question is, what patterns are you going to look for next?